By the end of the 16th century, the madrigal in Italy was beginning to change into quite new forms. But before we follow it along that path, we should look briefly at how the fashion spread throughout Europe. Many of the first generation of composers had come from north of the Alps, and they simply took the style back. The French took up the fashion quite early on. The king, François I, was a great patron of the arts who took pains that his court was the cultural equal of any. The German princes too wanted to keep up with southern styles, encouraged no doubt by their elected emperor, who now ruled over Spain as well. Wherever they went, madrigals used words of local poets, and the music was adapted to suit local taste. Musicians enjoyed a social prestige that gave them entry into that class of people who were able to travel about freely. But probably the most travelled and certainly one of the most famous composers of the day was Orlando de Lassus. He was at various times in Naples, Antwerp, Paris and Munich. As the madrigal style spread through Europe, it took on national characteristics. But nowhere did it enjoy such an Indian summer as it did in England. For little more than a couple of decades, which began in the last years of Elizabeth I's reign, English composers produced a spate of madrigals equal to any. Castiglione's ideas about the importance of music to courtly behaviour had long been accepted by 1588, when Nicholas Young published his collection of Italian madrigals with new texts in English. It was an instant success, and suddenly madrigals became all the rage. So starting off with Musica Transalpina as their model, the English composers set about producing a madrigal form that was unique.
No, 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 Nigella, let who list prove thee, I cannot love thee. Henceforth complaining, thy love's disdaining, sit thy hands wringing, whilst I go singing. Henceforth complaining, thy love's disdaining, sit thy hands wringing, whilst I go singing.
What the English liked was the amateur music-making side of it. Music, not poetry. It's curious that in an age of such great English poets, not least of whom was Shakespeare, the English composers almost totally ignored their works. They preferred light, sophisticatedly witty verses, which offered scope for melodic invention, and often featured a bright fala refrain. But lest you think that all English madrigals were light and frivolous, here's part of a more serious-minded piece, which the consort of music are singing with Elizabethan pronunciation.
Madame was published in England in 1619. Thomas Voter's style represents the ultimate development in the English madrigal. But in Italy, it was a different story. We have to go back 30 years to 1589, when a young composer, no more than 22 years old, took up his employment here in Mantua with the Gonzaga family. His name was Claudio Monteverdi, and his music was to transform the course of music history. Some have even called him the father of modern music. Within his long creative output, he published 8 volumes of madrigals, which contain all styles of composition. The earliest are superb examples of the Renaissance ideal of equal polyphony. The later volumes search out virtuosity. The attention goes to the treble and bass parts, and the voices are required to use an extended vocal range.